time does fly by, man, especially with you being an incoming graduate student here. I thought I had all the time in the world when I got here. I probably got here around this time last August, and first semester
Mm-hmm.
goes very slow based on my experience, and then
Hmm.
as soon as you get like a week for not a week, you get a month for Christmas. So when you go home for Christmas and you come back, you're like, oh man, there's only about 6 months left. We got to get going here, you know. So it definitely to me it felt like it went way much quicker when the second semester that kind of that January February rolled around. But to
I
answer your question
gotcha.
or to answer your point, yeah, time moves fast, man. I'm turning 25 in a couple months, and I still feel like I'm 16. You
Holy
know,
shit. Oh my gosh.
I still feel 16. I'm a 6'8" kid trapped in a 16-year-old's body, but you know, I'm 24 now. I'm growing facial hair. You know,
Yeah.
hitting puberty late.
Yeah. Wow. But again, thank you so much for coming on here.
Of
Really,
course,
just trying to like grow this channel. I only have like 60 subscribers, so we're kind of starting this from the bottom. You know what I
hey
mean? I
man.
did have like an old podcast, and then I decided like recently I'm gonna like switch all my content to just like my normal channel, just so like I feel like it'll be better for me to build off of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, 60 subscribers is more than 59 subscribers. You know what I mean? Anything, and I'm serious, man. Anything is doable, man. Anything is you're getting there. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
marathon, not a race. You know, got to be an everyday
Yeah,
grind,
yeah.
man. You know that. You know that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But let's go back though. Can you remind me of the college you went to for D3 basketball?
So I went to Ohio Wesleyan University. That's about in Delaware, Ohio. It's about 20 minutes north of Columbus, Ohio, which is Ohio State area.
Yeah.
So it was great. So the teams we played in my conference in D3 were mostly Ohio teams. Then you had two teams in Indiana, and then you had a team in Pennsylvania, which they left the conference. Oh man, I think in 2022. So my first 2 years, I played 5 years there. So I had that COVID red shirt.
Oh.
I came in the fall of 2020. After my true senior year, that would have been May of 24. I graduated. I walked. I did the whole thing. 4 years, graduated, and then talking to my coach and talking to some of the higher ups at the school, as in the AD and all those other folks in that office. They're like, you could play a fifth year. You have that eligibility waiver if you want to take it. You only need to take 2 classes per semester. So I'm like, sign me up. I mean, I graduated, and I was pretty much playing basketball just to play basketball, you know. And it was way cheaper to go there. My fifth year, obviously, because I was a part time student in quotes. I really wanted to take piano lessons. That was a class they offered, but my athletic director was like, "We need you to take an actual class. You can't take piano." So I was like, "Oh man, I really wish I would have learned how to play piano," you know. But it
Are
was a
you
great.
taking piano lessons now though?
I'm not taking piano lessons now, man. And I feel like an a hole saying this, but I always say I don't have time. But if I really wanted to take piano lessons, I would. You know,
Yeah.
that's kind of a back burner thing right now, especially with job hunting and just graduating about 2 weeks ago. But it's definitely something I want to accomplish in my life at some point, whether that's piano or guitar
Yeah.
or the drums. Really, I know my uncle, he played the drums in a heavy metal band, like super one of those old 1990s screamo bands, like the new metal stuff. That's what he did that, and I think he would play guitar too back in the day, but I can't remember. I digress. But Ohio Wesleyan, man, it was great.
Mm.
It was close to Ohio State, so if we want to
Yeah.
go to a football game or a basketball game, it was right there. And there was
Yeah.
relatively short bus rides. We did go on some pretty cool trips. We went to Roanoke, Virginia for a holiday tournament. Went to Oshkosh, Wisconsin, where Tyrese Halliburton's from. Went there. Went to Chicago a couple times. It was great, man. It was. I mean, D3, as you know, it's super heavy in the Midwest and the Northeast area.
Yeah.
A little bit on the coast, but not. There's like none out here, man. There's it's all NAIA D2 D1 out here. Especially once you cross that Missouri, that like halfway point of the states. There's like no D3s at all. There's only a handful.
Yeah. Hmm. I mean, so actually, fuck, I forgot what I was gonna ask. Oh yeah. Talking about balance as a D3 basketball player with basketball, schoolwork, and like social life. I know you were part time. I know you were part time. But talk about how you balance that like to the best of your abilities.
Oh man, I mean, you're taking me back, man. I haven't thought about this. We're talked about this in 2 years now. I mean, 3 years really, because of the fifth year. But the balance is relatively. I mean, to be completely frank, the balance was relatively fine for me. Again, you just again, I know this is super blunt, but you just got to get your shit done, man. I mean, um,
Yeah.
my first 2 years, that's when you knocked out all the gen ed stuff, like you're taking your astronomy classes and you're taking your art history classes and you're taking all the stuff that you don't want to take but you have to, you know what I mean? I mean, obviously it's there's a learning curve, especially my freshman year where it was pretty much all online for the most part. Again, we didn't think we were going to play. We ended up playing 12 games in a month. um, so yeah, we practiced for maybe a month, and then we played for a month, and then that was it. And then because school got pushed back until June, like I felt like I was in grade school again,
Mm.
because of COVID. We had 2 months off, but um, the balance, like once I got to my junior senior year, I really think I don't know if you can relate to this too, but I always said junior year of undergrad was the grind year. You know, it's like, okay, you're not a freshman anymore, you're not a sophomore anymore, you're taking the classes that you want to take, and you got to make sure that you're really progressing well in those classes. You know, I was a communication major at Wesley, and they didn't offer journalism, but I took all writing classes, all journalism classes. I worked with the sports information director. I was the PA for football games. I kept stats for football games. I wrote game stories for softball and baseball. Anything that wasn't in the season from August to November or August to October, and then from March to May, I was doing whatever I can. I wrote for the local Delaware newspaper at the time. I got to cover a couple Columbus Final Fours and Elite Eights for men's and women's basketball. I got to do all Ohio Wesleyan's spring and fall sports stuff with the Delaware Gazette. That was awesome. And I remember vividly, because again, writing is what I really want to do. I know that's a dying art, and you got to implement social media now and all this stuff. But I remember I wrote my first article. It wasn't my first all time article. This was like my third or fourth year in the industry, I guess, or writing for,
Yeah.
whether that was the high school newspaper or that was for an internship I wrote for minor league media outlets for baseball and for the USFL when it was the USFL, not the UFL now, I think it is.
Mm.
Um, Remember, I talked to my boss, who I'm still relatively on really good terms with, Ben Straub, great guy. I said, Ben, is there any chance you can get me a paper copy of the newspaper? Because there was the front cover, it was the front page of sports. He's like, well, Tony, we don't
Mm.
really don't make print copies anymore. And this is like you can imagine now. There's no print copies. This was back in 2023 or 2024. So again, that's a whole
I
nother
see.
tangent. It's crazy how it's all digital now, but he said I can
Yeah.
get you a print copy, so I have the print copy at home, and it's a proud accomplishment. I always look at that to remind myself why I want to do this and why I want to get so far into this industry and why I wanted to do it in the first place, because I love sports and I love writing.
Yeah, and how do you think like all those skills you learned previously like translated into Cronkite? And you want to like describe like what life was, at Cronkite for you during the past years? I mean, I assume it was like a vibe because being out here in Phoenix, it's
Yeah, man.
amazing.
I mean, before I answer that, I've only been out west a handful of times. I mean, I'm from Ohio. I've obviously been to all the surrounding states. My family, we go south for vacation. I got family down in Florida.
Mm.
I got friends in South Carolina and all this stuff. So really, the furthest west I've been to LA one time when I was probably 12 or 13 years old. I went to
Wow.
Texas in undergrad, but then being out here, it's like, oh man, I got to go to California a couple of times. I mean, driving to San Diego is 4 hours from here, so it's got to go to Vegas, cover the NBA Summer League. The vibe was great, man.
Wow.
Um, it's I guess I could say I didn't. I definitely took, and this is no shot to my professors in undergrad. I definitely took things I learned in undergrad, from the classroom to Cronkite, but it was mostly more experience that I took, especially the
Yeah.
first months of the school year.
Yeah.
Especially in Professor Bill Hill's writing classes, you write game stories, and I'm like, okay, I've written game stories the last 3 years, whether that's for college, high school. I got to do minor league stuff, so I really had a good sense of I was prepared coming in. And again, I love Bill Hill to death, and he has been my toughest grader since I've been in school, and I always
Yeah.
give him flack. We always banter back and forth between each other. I mean, and I want him to do that. Again, I writing for few outlets. I won't say what, I won't say who, but um, the feedback sometimes was um, not well, and I would
Hmm.
like I would like constructive feedback when it comes to
Yeah.
my writing, because that's my job, that's my end goal. It's all or nothing. So Bill, he was, I think I can't thank him enough for pushing me to um, become a better writer and grading me very, very harshly. And it's, again, that's what I want. And again, I'll never forget after my first game story. And again, you walk in with some sort of ego, even though you stay
Yeah.
humble, you stay humble.
Yeah.
You tell yourself this is all new experience, coming with an open mind. And you tell yourself, say, and you want to live by those things, always to be open minded and be humble. But a little bit of ego came in. After my first game story, I
Yep.
got a B minus or a B, and I was pissed. I was pissed. I'm like,
Hmm.
none of these MFers can hold me. Like, I'm the guy. Like, you think you're the guy. You think you're the guy. But I've come to find out from my peers and my classmates, and now that they're really my really good friends, that I'm like, oh man, I'm not the best writer in here. And again, it's you try not to compare yourself to people. You're all in this together. You're not. You don't want you. I want my friends to have success, but at the time, back in October, back in August, September of last year, I'm like, oh man, like these guys can't hold me. Like I'm the guy. But again, I've come to find out that, and I'm very blessed to have the people around me push each other, and I hope you have a good group too, good group
Yeah.
of graduate
Thank you,
students,
man.
that you guys all push each other, and you guys all
Yeah.
communicate well, and you guys end up being good friends, and you guys go do stuff together. You don't want to be cooped up in your room all day. You want to, and that's also the part what you said about being a vibe, being out in Arizona. You get to meet new people, and I think that's,
Oh
again,
yeah.
yeah, my favorite clip ever. A press conference. I forget the team and the kid, but it was after a March Madness game, and the reporter said, "What are you going to miss most about playing in college?" And he said, "I'm going to miss going to restaurants and hanging out with my teammates." And I'll say that till I die for my teammates in undergrad, and I'll say that till I die here. Like, sure, it was great to collaborate and go on trips with each other, go on work trips, but at the end of the day, it was just doing random stuff, hanging out with each other. That's what sticks with me the most. So I really hope
Yeah.
you have that experience.
Yeah. I appreciate that, man. Going back to like the writing portion of it, you said, you said you weren't really the best writer. So what kind of like skills did you learn, or what kind of things did you? I know you learned a lot from your professors, but what did you like teach yourself or learn like yourself as you went about to become the writer you are today?
Oh man, that's a great question. Um, you got to be more creative. You can't, I always try to tell myself too, I can't write cookie cutter stories. And what I mean by cookie cutter stories are, this happened the day before a game, because everyone's going to have that story. All these outlets are going to
Yeah.
have, so and so's hurt, he's not going to play. What does this mean for the game, and what does this mean for the weeks after the game or prior, or whatever the case may be, or so and so got traded. Like that's news. That's like that. Everyone's going to know that.
Mm.
It's, you see it when it pops up on your phone on Twitter, and that's kind of the beauty of writing. I think in today's age of being a reporter, especially, you have to try to find stories that no one will write, and that's again, like, writing is tough, and I mean by that
Yeah.
is your lead and your body and your closing, and you got to make sure your quotes are. But that's you write so much that it kind of becomes like breathing. Although you could always be better. But I think going out and finding these stories, that's the toughest part of the job. And that's something that
Yes, I totally agree with that.
it's something that I try to embrace and not shy away from. And again, this summer with you'll find out your third semester you work for the sports bureau. And I got to be a digital reporter. And again, we got to go to the FIFA World Cup. We got to go to NBA Summer League. Me and a buddy, it was not sanctioned. We pitched it to our professors, and we were like, hey, like, the D1 men's golf tournaments in Carlsbad, which is about 40 minutes, I think, north of San Diego. We're like, we could drive out there easily. We can cover that. So we got to cover
Hmm.
ASU and U of A. But I think the thing that writing, like, textbook writing too, like, and what I mean by textbook is the technical terms, nitty gritty, is the first three lines of an article. I mean, that's your hook, and you got to make sure
To
that,
really like draw the audience in.
correct, you have to, especially with attention spans these days, and no one wants to read. You know what I mean? No one, like, in the great, like, at short form media now. I think that also too I struggled with, and I'm not ashamed to admit I definitely struggled with that my first couple months as a writer. But as time went on, especially the last 3 months in the bureau, 2 months in the bureau, um, I think that got to be one of my strong suits. And I mean, again, I say this in with a grain of salt because you could always be better. And that doesn't mean that you definitely should be proud of yourself. And I definitely am proud of myself when it comes to those things. But in the back of your head, you always got to be like, I can always be better. So I think taking that from not only my professors but from experience too. But I think the best part about this job is talking to people, talking to these athletes. And
Oh
again,
yeah.
I was fortunate enough to cover the Cleveland Guardians for spring training this past February in Goodyear, which is about 20 miles west where they do their spring training. I wrote for Cleveland.com. Last summer, I did Ohio State football recruiting, and then I did Arizona Fall League for all the prospects for Cleveland.com. Then I was like, hey, I'm going to be out here. Let me do spring training. And my bosses were like, yeah, sure. You have a 2 week window. And I'm like, these are my heroes. You walk in the locker room, you see Jose Ramirez and Steven Kwan playing chess. I'm shitting my pants, like I'm like, holy shit, that's Tanner Bybee and that's Kyle Manzardo and like David Fry. These are my heroes. I watch every game. Um,
Exactly.
so that kind of, again, because you'll have that same experience of talking to these professional athletes. Got to talk to Cole Pete, got to talk to Melissa Thomas, DeWanna Bonner of the Phoenix Mercury, and like you and Dawn Staley. Got to talk to Dawn Staley. She's a legend.
That's
And
cool. That's really cool.
but once you get over that hump of, oh my god, like you're the starstruck hump, like they're just people, man. They're just people, and
Yeah.
they like 85 to 90% of the time they know you have a job to do. And I've never really had any experience of athletes and or coaches really being like, I don't want to talk to you because again, you come with a smile. Say, hey, don't even. Another thing I kind of picked up on is don't just go in with questions. Shoot, hey, like how'd you feel out there without even clicking the record button? How'd you feel out there? What do you think about of the season so far? Or like how's your family doing? Like that kind of stuff. Especially when you make relationships with these guys. Like it got to the point
Yeah.
with the Guardians, my second week in, that I'm walking into the locker room every year, the clubhouse, not locker room, sorry, in the clubhouse every day. And these guys are like, hey, what's going on, Tony? I'm like, what's up, David? Like this is awesome. You know what I mean? Like it's like, because again, you just be personable and just be a good person, be a nice guy. Like it's really all it takes, man. And I always say that at some point in my life, and in your life too, one of our bosses and or whoever we're reporting to is going to be like, we need you to write a story on a negative or pessimistic event. And as much as I don't want to, I'm going to have to do it. So I always try to write positive and optimistic stories, and like it just makes the reader feel good. It makes the player and the coach feel good. I mean, it's rare that, especially these days, I picked up on this as well, that um, coaches and players are so used to these big name reporters kind of just getting down to it right away instead of writing about their feelings and their mental towards the game. And again, as a former athlete, I think I have a good sense of how these guys are feeling every day. Again, obviously, I didn't play overseas. I didn't play
Oh,
Division One ball. I didn't play in the NBA, but I'm still an athlete. So I think I could relate to them and just talk to them like it's an off season day on a Tuesday in June or something, So I'm very fortunate to have been picked up on to be picking up on these things. And again, it went fast, man. It went too fast.
yeah. I think obviously being at LSU, you have like so many famous athletes there, right?
Right.
But I talked about it with one of my friends who is also on my YouTube channel, by the way, if you want to go watch that. One of my roommates, Christian, one of my roommates. We
Okay.
talked about this, and they are so much more than athletes. Like the average fan will probably view them as just a guy or girl they see on TV whenever they play, or when they're in the stands, and whenever they're playing. But sometimes they don't. Well, honestly, most of the time they don't see like that they're actually like really like cool human beings and like have a really cool lifestyle. And once you like get to know that person, like I kind of did, I got to know like some of the LSU gymnasts during my time there, and they're incredible people. They're so easy to get along with, and it's not real, and it's not just Livy Dunn. You know what I mean? I'm talking about Sierra Ballard, Haley Bryan, Aaliyah Finnegan, KJ Johnson, all of them. Um, you know, and like you said, you bring a smile every day, and they're gonna respect you.
Yeah, and it's hard for me especially with working for Cleveland.com, to separate work from being a fan. Because again, in Cleveland, it's family and sports. It's family, church, and sports. That's it, and friends. But sports is a
Mm.
very, especially it goes in a family tradition too. It's I grew up on sports. My pops played minor league ball for a handful of years. My mom played volleyball, and my brother played. He was a QB and D1, a D1 quarterback. So I mean, it's always been sports. So I
Yeah.
always joke around. I say would be I would not like to work for Cleveland because I think I would care too much, you know. But again, spring training and writing for Ohio State football kind of gave me a little bit of that sense of okay, this is work, you know. But
Hmm.
behind closed doors with your family, then yeah, you could be a fan, or when you're with your friends, yeah, you could
Yeah.
be a fan. But when you're at work, it's work, you know. You got to
Yeah.
it's business, you know. You got to carry
I
yourself in a professional way. Yeah, it's crazy. Like you have to like you debate with your friends and all that about is Joel Embiid really an MVP that year, or was his prime good enough and all that stuff. But when you start talking to your professors and your classmates in class, it's like you're at a round table. It's like you're on not
oh
on like
yeah.
it's not like first take because that's different. But you guys all work in the sports business and all in the sports industry, so you got to know your stuff. You know what I mean? You like I took a play-by-play class taught by a great guy, Vince Contronio. He was the old Oakland Athletics and Texas Rangers play-by-play radio guy for years. Made
That's
TV guy.
cool. That's really cool.
Oh, I think he's offering that class. I think next spring. I would really recommend you take it.
I'll definitely take that.
Um, and he would pop quiz us every day when we would walk in, and he'd pick names out of a hat and be like, what was the score of the Arizona State softball game, or who won the Super Bowl, or who had the most passing yards this week, or
Mm.
who's leading the MLB in batting average. You gotta know your stuff, man, and it's all good.
Yeah.
It's not a grade; it's all good fun, but you just making sure that we're not again. It's not like you're staring at Twitter all day scrolling, and you're not like memorizing stats, but you just gotta know what's going on to an extent.
Yeah.
Read. I think
Read.
I hated
Yes.
reading. I hated reading when I was a kid. My mom used to make me read 6 books a summer, you know. But now I appreciate that now. But like, they always say you should read more than you write. I disagree. I think you should write more than you read. And what I mean
Mm.
by that is, again, I have a Substack. Just created one a couple months ago. Um, I got to talk to my main story was history of the media in the NBA. I got to talk to Sam Smith, who wrote the
Mm.
Jordan Rules. Got to talk to Dan Shaughnessy, who was a legendary Boston Globe columnist, covered Larry Bird front back center. Got to talk to all these different old NBA reporters and current NBA reporters, and even they were like, "You just got to know to
Just gotta
write,
know ball.
write, like know what's going on, and then write." Like, and again, just even if you don't post it anywhere, just write. Like, if something happens, write about it. Like, write about it, man, because again, it's especially in today's era of everybody's a columnist in their own way when it comes to podcasting, when it comes to short form media. People always give their opinions. It's the opinionated
Yeah.
era of reporting. Um, Everyone wants to be a columnist. I want to be a columnist. I would love to be a columnist for a newspaper. People like read about my opinions and it's getting published. Oh my God, that's a dream come true. I'm getting paid to do that. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm not working in a coal mine, you know?
Yeah.
But write, man, just write. Again, with my Substack, I'm doing another mini series on lessons from the press, and like I'm covering some of the most famous slash infamous press conferences in sports. So like I wrote one on Allen Iverson's practice speech, and like what people
I
don't know.
was literally gonna ask you about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And what people don't know is obviously he missed one practice all year, and the media is hounding him, and his best friend got shot and killed like a month prior. So like, and they just lost to the Celtics in the playoffs. So people don't know. Like again, it's 2001, so people don't know what's going on. Unlike now. So
Yeah.
I really, if you haven't watched the full 35 minute press conference, I highly recommend you do. It's awesome, and again, that's has nothing to do with his past experiences or past. Whatever. I'm losing the word. Well, whatever the fact. It's
Sure we're
just
not talking about practice?
no, exactly right. And then I got to I had a phone call with Herm Edwards about 2 months ago, and because I wrote my final enterprise story on Pro Football Focus, so I got to talk to a couple reporters. I got a couple quotes from Bruce Arians. And I talked to
Ooh, Bruce Arians.
yeah. But Herm Edwards, man, like if you know Herm Edwards, you used to be on. He was old coach of the Jets, NFL Network,
Hmm.
very eccentric guy. So I couldn't stop laughing. He talks the same way over the phone that he does on TV. So I'm like, and like again, like
Yeah.
I'm like shedding tears. I'm like, this guy, I'm really talking to this guy right now. And I don't know if you've seen his press conference stuff. You play to win the game. Then he walked out of the press conference after they lost. I don't know. You've probably seen that clip of the reporter is like, "Where do you guys go from here?" And he was like, "What? You play to win the game?" Um, and I'll
Probably
never.
have seen that.
You definitely have seen that at least once in your life.
Yeah.
He told me the story is he didn't know because he walked out of the press conference, very angry. He walked out. He does practice. He's got work to do. Gets home. His wife goes, "Do you know what you just did?" And he's like, "No." And then he sees it. It's all over ESPN. It's all over local news. It's because it's New York. And he
Yeah.
walks in the next day and like no one's talking to him before their pre-practice meeting. And he said, Curtis Martin and Chad Pennington and I think Lavernius Coles, they all stood up and they said, "Coach, are you good?" And he said, "Yeah, are we good?" And the captain said, "Yeah," and that was it. And he said they went on to win 7 straight games and they won the AFC East in 2002. So like that kind of like just those stories, man. Again, not to go off another
Yeah.
tangent, but like the reason why too, I in the mirror, I asked him about the miracle at the Meadowlands when the Giants didn't take a knee in '77. He picked up the ball and run and won the game because back then kneeing the ball was considered unsportsmanlike. So the Giants didn't knee it, and they fumbled, and he picked it up and scored. And I asked him about that too, and he told me all those stories that like the NFL didn't implement the kneeing as sportsmanlike, but it was kind of like oh shit, we should probably kneel the ball. Like that's probably fine now. You know, we
Yeah.
don't want this to happen again. Like again, just these like talking to these guys. Like again, you ask them about work and all that. Ask them about your story, but then like I'm always curious, man. Always be curious. I'll just ask them anything about their hey, like I know this has nothing to do with my story, but do you have any other fun stories about when you were coaching? Then you just go down a loophole.
Yeah. That story about Pro Football Focus, I read it. It's great,
Oh,
by the
thanks.
way.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's
I really
great.
do. Thank you.
But
That was like a month,
but
man.
how
Oh,
long did it take you to write that?
oh man. The writing portion or the interviewing in collecting my ideas. Do you mean like the actual?
Everything.
Oh man. Okay. So I started that story. Oh man. So the bureau started like May 10th. I'll say. I first my Craig Morgan, who wrote for the Athletic, still is big hockey guy. He's the writing professor in the bureau, or the writing boss, I guess.
Yeah.
We were going through enterprise final enterprise stories, and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm gonna do. And he kind of in our writing channel, he kind of threw in a bunch of stuff like, hey, these are some ideas. I'm like, oh, I haven't written a story. I wrote a story on ABS back in the fall when I was at the fall league, and I was like, I've really only done long form stories when it comes to basketball and baseball. So let me write a football story.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get some of the contacts, again, because you have to reach out to them, and most of the time they won't get back. And again, that's also part of the job. It is what it is. You can't get too down on yourself, or you can't breathe. Just breathe. Like everything will work out. So finally, like I talked to Matthew Collier, Vikings beat reporter. He got back to me immediately. Bill Reese, old NFL scout. It's Tommy Reese's dad, who followed Kevin Stefanski to Atlanta. He's the OC at Atlanta, former Notre Dame quarterback. I got connected with him because he's an Ohio Wesleyan alumni. So he's older guy now, but he used to be a NFL scout and evaluator back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. So I was like, hey, what do you think about all this? Herm Edwards was right away. I got the Bruce Arians quotes from Craig. Um, I was really hoping to talk to JJ Watt, but JJ Watt didn't get back to Craig in time, so that kind of bummed me out a little bit. I'm like, I can talk to JJ Watt, like that's a legend.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think there were 6 sources in that story, 6 or 7 sources in that story, but it was like a month leading up to figuring out what questions I'm going to ask these individuals and what kind of answers did the past interviews give me, so I can kind of mesh them all together into future interviews. Writing the story
Yeah.
took 2 days, a day and a half, 2 days. It was about 2,700 words. So again, it's once I get going, I always like to start. I don't like to start and then stop and then go at it again the next day if the
Yeah.
idea is going. Then I just like to keep writing. But again, you write your first copy, and obviously that's not the copy. So you send it in to Craig, and he gives you editing ideas, and you re-edit the whole thing, and then you send to him again. And he's like, "Hey, this is what I would put in the final edits," and then you make the final edits, and you send it back to him with graphs, with graphics and pictures, and then yes, I mean I that was the full shebang summer. I mean that took me the whole time pretty much. But again, it wasn't like,
Damn.
oh shit, I have 3 weeks before I graduate. I haven't started this yet. Like I started it relatively the first week or two into the bureau, and then you just gradually work on it while you're writing other stories.
Yeah, man, after I saw that, that's something that I would that'd probably take me like a lot more than just 2 or 3 days to write because I think I'm a guy that like really takes my time on
Yeah,
writing. I know
I
that's
mean everyone,
probably like
everyone's different. Yeah, everyone's different. Like I personally, I don't think I rush my stories, but I have all these ideas in my head. And, you write an outline, and you give yourself this again this rough outline of what you want it to be. And you're like, oh man, I could write a lot more in this section. Then I got to take some out of this
yeah.
section. It's just it's just that all. It's usually like a 6 to 8 hour process for me, and obviously you take
Hmm.
breaks, 15-minute breaks to get water, to get food, and all that stuff. But I just go, man. I just go when it comes to these stories. And another tidbit for you, or wise advice from an old guy like me, some of these stories and some of the homework you'll have, again, you're used to it, you're at LSU. Some of these stories
Yeah.
and homework you'll be working late hours on Saturdays, Fridays, and
Oh
Friday
yeah.
nights and Sunday nights. Excuse me, you will go into class at 8 a.m. on Monday, but you might be up writing or making a news package for your broadcast class or your sports ethics paper. It's 10 pages long, and you'll be doing that until 1 in the morning. And again, it's just that it is what it is. Just I got another word again. Just have
Yeah.
to, because I'm a procrastinator. I've gotten a lot better. I used to be really bad, but now I think I use my time wisely, and I make sure I get my shit done. And again, it's
Uh-huh.
again external happenings in your life, that's one thing, but for the most part I it was just, you got to grind, man. You got to grind, and
Yeah.
it's all I really think it's all worth it. It's all worth it.
Yes. Did you do any feature stories?
So for Bill Hill's class, yes, you do one feature story, maybe two feature stories. So when I was with Cleveland.com for the Arizona Fall League and then for spring training, that's when I really wrote my feature stories. Because
Okay.
in Bill's class, it's mostly the first semester, it's mostly game stories, and then you have one or two features. So yeah, I like feature writing is my favorite to do, because then you get to talk to
I
them.
see.
You get to write a long form story on the subject, and then you can talk to friends, coaches, family, teammates, and they all give in their 2 cents. It's close between enterprise story writing and feature story writing.
I see.
I have a lot of haste towards game stories. I dislike game stories. That's the kindest way I can put it. I do not like game stories, man.
Hmm.
Because you sit there through the whole game, and you're talking to players and coaches about the game. Like, how'd you feel out there? We played like shit. We lost. Like, yeah, it's a given. You know what I mean? Like, it's a given. But again, you come up
And
with
what if
good
it's like
questions.
a boring ass game too?
You're right, exactly. Like I had a football game. I did a game story on, because Bill will give you high schools around the area. So I got Chandler Prep. I was all respect and love to Chandler Prep. They were very, very great to me, and I got to meet all these players and coaches with volleyball and with football. They were awesome. They were great, but they were super small school, and
Hmm.
that's probably also helped as well, as I had a lot of access because it was a small school. Um, but I think the football. I think they played this really bad school. I forgot who it was. But they were up like 49-0 in the end of the first half. So I'm like, oh Christ,
Oh
okay.
my
They ended
gosh.
up winning like 63-3 or something, and I'm like, I gotta write a game story on this. I gotta go up to the opposing coach after the game and be like, hey, I'm the asshole who's like, so you just lost 63-60 or 63-0. Where do you guys go from here? Where do you guys go from here? Or what do you have to do in practice this week to not have that happen again? Um, so that was like the part that I'm like, oh shit, I gotta do this. Um, but it's like, again, this is just one man's opinion when it comes to game stories. But game stories, game like for people that haven't written before and people that haven't experienced writing before when it comes to sports. And like it was probably 50-50 in class. Like half of us were either in one way or another were in the sports media industry at one in whether I was high school or undergrad. But there were a good handful
Yeah.
of people that had like they were like I knew this one girl had an economics degree. I knew one of my friends, Matt. I forgot what he did, but he didn't do anything like that. He went to North Carolina State, and my buddy Noah, he was at a law firm for 2 years after he graduated from U of A. Like it's my buddy
Hmm.
Cam, who I'm living with right now. He was in the army. Like most of these guys, like some of them haven't
Oh.
really done anything when it comes to sports, but they like game stories are a good way to, and that's what Bill told us. I remember like first 2 weeks, he's like, it's a good way to really get your feet wet when it comes to covering a team or covering a beat, you know? So so to answer your question, I do like feature stories a lot.
Okay. Because you said you disliked game
Yes.
stories. Like, what about them like made it challenging for you? I guess.
For me, again, I wrote game stories for years. I mentioned that earlier. In minor
Yeah.
leagues, in high school, and in college teams, not in like, but under like college teams, whatever. Besides the point. I
Yeah.
was just so. I think I had probably a bad mental towards it coming in because I'm like I've been writing game stories and I rarely would write feature stories because I was all game stories. It was
Yeah.
I've been writing feature stories for years at the time, so I was like I don't want to do this. Like I've been doing this the whole time, um, and there's a certain way that Bill wants you to write it, so that kind of threw
Oh,
me.
I see.
That kind of it goes back to the ego. I'm like, oh, I've done this. I got this. I got this, and then Bill wants you to write another way. And again, you're not going to say no. You know, you're going to be like, of course, however you want me to write, I'll do my best, and then he gives you the feedback. But um, to really answer your question, sitting through a game and not having a
Oh,
creative story to me, and not having something interesting happen in the game is like okay, sure, you can write a game story, but you could also come up with your own opinions, not opinions, but come up with your own ideologies of the game through a box score. But again, like you don't get quotes in a box score, especially from these high school players, which again, that's what I appreciate about the game stories. You don't get quotes in a box score. You don't get what these guys are feeling. And
yeah.
again, it's game stories, they're not by no means opinionated writing. It's not. It's like the furthest thing from opinionated writing. You're writing what happened. And again, I think I struggled with too. And again, another more fortune cookie wisdom. Um, don't write what happened in your story. Don't say in the first quarter they scored a 20-yard touchdown, and then in the second quarter they scored a 33-yard run. Like the
Yeah.
time that won't work. You got to try to figure out a creative angle for the story. And that's again after my first game story, I did first quarter to fourth quarter or first set to fourth set, and that's like it's boring. It's box score talk. That's putting instead of 33-yard touchdown, it's so and so ran and bursted through the hole for a 33-yard touchdown. Like, also again to try to stay away from. Oh man, I can't think of the word again. Um, I'm sorry, but you know, Chris Fowler says on a college football broadcast, he goes, "Oh, Notre Dame's getting a lot of chunk plays." Like they don't want you to say that,
Yeah.
and I agree with them because
Yeah.
that's that's fugazi, that's fugazi, that's slang. It's slang. It's football slang or volleyball slang. Like try to stay away from slang as much as you
Oh,
can.
I see. I see. I see.
Try to stay away from slang as much as like just sports talk slang because again, which I agree with 100%. This high school kid's grandmother who's never watched sports in her life, she's going to read the story because her grandson is the starting running back. She doesn't know a lick about football. And if you write, he scampered down the sideline for 55 yards, she's going to be like, what the hell does that mean? Or he had like the
I
air raid
see.
attack. Or like Chandler Prep today had an air raid, 400 yards passing. She'd be like, what's an air raid? You know what I mean? Just tidbit stuff, like nitpicky stuff, but that's more fortune cookie wisdom for you.
I see. I see. Um, let's see. Oh my gosh, you kind of just put so much information that
I'm sorry, man. I
I
know, but
forgot
again,
my
this
next
is
question.
the Yap House. It's not called the Yap House for nothing, man.
What is your dream job? Like, is this like what you're doing your dream job right now, or do you have like a
100%.
specific
I
dream
mean,
job?
my dream jobs are either to write for Slam magazine or to be a beat reporter for the Athletic. I mean, as you know, the Athletic is really the only true blue national paper now. Even though it's all digital, but it's the last
Yeah.
of the upper echelon of papers now. And again, the Boston Globe is up there,
Hmm.
the New York Times. Again, the Washington. When I was in, I think it was January, February. I don't know if you saw this, but the Washington Post got rid of their sports section, and that's the Washington Post. That's like
Really?
the political paper hub. You're in D.C., so that was a huge shock to us. So again, the Athletic being the only cutthroat national paper now, I would like to write for the
Mm.
Athletic, and that's the job. Like Ken Rosenthal came in and talked to us, and he's a writer for the Athletic. Like that's fucking. Oh, excuse
Yeah.
my language. Oh my gosh, that's Ken Rosenthal, dude. Like it's like
Yes.
the guy. Like that's for baseball. He is the guy. So
That's the
I want to,
guy.
and again, Slam Magazine. It not only infuses basketball, but it infuses culture. It infuses music and
Uh,
fashion and all that stuff. I'm not a very fashionable person, but I'm a music head. So I would love to write for Slam Magazine. So actually, I have to reach out.
gotcha.
I have to reach out to one of my connections. He used to write for Slam Magazine. So if I can get my foot in the door
I
there again,
see.
you see the Slam Magazine, man. You see all the T-shirts and like that's a
Yeah.
legendary magazine, man. And
Yeah.
that was like the first real form of feature writing for a national stage. Because obviously you have your local papers that will write feature stories on LeBron James or Kobe Bryant, but this is Slam Magazine, man. Everybody knows Slam Magazine. If you played basketball, you know Slam Magazine, man. It's the culture,
Oh
man.
yeah.
So I would love to write for Slam Magazine. Again, I'm trying
Yeah.
to not be as stubborn and realize and open my eyes that man, I should probably do more with social media and podcasting and um, short form media on whether that's on TikTok or Instagram. But I really want to be a writer for one of these companies, man. Again, that's
Gotcha.
growing up and reading and opening up the morning paper and reading on the Indians or the Browns or the Cavs
Mm.
or high school sports like that. I wanted to be those guys. So man, you got
Yeah.
to watch LeBron James for free and cover LeBron James and talk to him and write about him. Like, dude, that's what I want to do, man. Again, it's all or nothing for me, man. It's again, I'm fully embracing and anticipating starting off with super low pay. Again, I don't care about the money. Like I should,
Oh
in
yeah.
the grand scheme of life, I should. And if I want to start a family and be a dad, and again, like money is but I really believe money will come if I
Oh
keep my
yeah.
head down. If I keep my head down and grind, man, and try to climb the ladder and make as many good connections as I can, and obviously not use people, but make good relationships, not even just connections, but create good relationships with people.
Yeah.
I
I
hope that
I
comes
remembered
to it.
my question now that I forgot. So if there was ever a time when you would like struggle to come up with story ideas, like I'll admit I had some trouble coming up with story ideas myself when I was at LSU, and I really had to like scout my way through. But when you struggled, if there were times when you struggled to come up with stories, what did you do?
Ask your professor, man. Like again, it goes back to the ego of man. Like I'm supposed to be this super creative sports reporter, but sometimes it's just the way it is, man. Ask your peers, ask your classmates, man. Like, hey, I want to do a story on this, but I don't know the angle I want to take, or I want to write a football story, but I have no idea what I want to write. Like, can you help me with ideas? And you collaborate, man. Just talk to the people in your class, talk to your professors, because your professors they won't give you the
Yeah.
answers, but they'll get it out of you. Hey, have you thought about this a certain way? Hey, I want to write a story on the Arizona Cardinals, but I have no idea what to write. I know all of this is happening, but it's already been covered. Did you think about this that happened 2 months ago that no one's been talking about? Have you thought about this that happened a month ago that nobody's talking about? Or hey, I just saw that one of the defensive tackles, his wife went into labor during a game, and he stayed and he played. Like no, like if no one's talking about it, then
Hmm.
that's a story idea. But again, the
Yeah.
most bread and butter way I could put it is just ask people, man. Like again, there's ask
Yeah.
again. I think I try to do everything on my own. Again, that's the primal man thing to do. Is I can do this all on my own, and man, it's you can't do it all on your own. You can't. Again, you just can't, man. So ask people. There's no shame in asking. Just ask for help. Even like again, like
Mhm.
there are stupid questions out there. And again, like I always joke around with my
Yes.
family and friends that like don't ask stupid questions and you won't get stupid answers, you know. But ask a question, man. Like even if you think it's the dumbest question of all time, just ask. Like there's no again, it'd be worse if you didn't ask people for help. Then you're caught with nothing, you know. Just ask.
One of the professors that I had like came into one of our classes um, during my last semester, and he kind of gave us a lesson of, and he said something really funny but true as well. It was something like we're built or we're paid to ask dumb questions for a living, or something like that, which I thought was really funny but true as well because I feel like those dumb questions get like the most traction, the most views, and all that stuff. So
100%. Like again, in my Substack, I'm gonna in the on lessons from the press, I'm gonna write a story on Torian Prince in 2016 against Yale. I don't know if you ever seen that clip or
oh
that
yeah, I
Torian
have.
Prince is from the reporters like, so Yale out rebounded you. Yeah. Why did you guys not grab any rebounds today? And he's like, WTF? Like what kind of question? Like it's just so stupid. He's like, oh, you go up and you grab the ball and you grab it and that's a rebound. Like like that, but that's traction to what you said. But again, you,
Yes.
you got like again, I try to put myself in these shoes of these everyday reporters, and again, I'm probably going to be dealing with it as well. Of how can I ask these guys I see every day, whether that's in a practice facility or whether that's pre or post game or halftime, whatever. How can I ask these guys a different question that I haven't already asked them dozens of times before? You know, and that's something that will come with experience. I can't give you the answer to that. I've been fortunate enough to where that kind of happened to me a little bit with spring training because it was 12 spring training games in 14 days when I was there. So you can like again, it's spring training, so there's a plethora of guys you could ask. So I again, nothing really extreme happened, but when I'm going up to manager Stephen Vogt after the game, and Joey Cantillo gives up 3 runs in 2 innings, and that's his only start in a week because it's spring training. Like you're not going to ask why did he give up 3 runs. You're going to ask, did you see anything from him that was off, or did he tell you anything that was off, or hey, is this just what like how has he progressed this spring, or where do you see him? Like this isn't the end all be all, obviously, coach or Skip, not coach. He's not coach. Skip, obviously, Skip. This isn't the end all be all, but like based on today, what have you seen so far, and how do you think he can progress from there? That kind of thing. Just simple questions like that, because you're
Yeah.
going to get an answer when you're asking about other people, or you're not always asking about um, cookie cutter stuff.
Yeah. I think the way for me that I've gotten so much better is another thing that that professor told me was to get out of your apartment, get out of your house, and kind of just walk around the area. Like I've gone on like plenty of walks, like outside, my apartment, things like that, and it's paid like huge dividends because now I have a list of like all these story ideas that I have in mind. I have seven. I have seven different ideas on like this list right now. So that's another thing was just like getting out of like you can't find stories on your desk or like on your phone. Well, maybe you can find something on social
Yeah,
media,
yeah,
but
but just get out.
yeah,
And again,
get
like
out.
you're way more prepared than I am, man. I came in just not knowing what to expect. You know, like I kind of knew what to expect, but I didn't come in with story ideas, man. You're really taking initiative, dude. And
Mm-hmm.
again, like, and if you have these ideas and professors are like, "Hey, this wouldn't work for a class," just write about it, man. I'm telling you, like, start a
Yeah.
Substack if you really want to like come up with ideas. Or again, or you could do short form media. Um, just put it out there, man. Again, that's why I'm doing my Substack. Just if I'm not writing everyday rumor mills, and I'm not writing about NFL training camp, or I'm not writing about the Ohio State upcoming season. I'm trying to find creative ways to write other stories again, which is like lessons from the press and this and the history in the media and the NBA kind of thing. Like just get stuff out there that is different. You know, just be different, do
Hmm.
different things. And again,
Yeah.
I think
So
that's
basketball's obvious. Oh, go ahead.
no, no, my fault. I'm interrupting you, but like that, I think that's great that you walking around and have story ideas. But again, like if you want to talk about when you first move out here, man, obviously you're gonna meet your classmates, but just do stuff on your own, man. When I first moved out here, I went to a concert by
Yeah.
myself. and I went to a Diamondbacks game by myself. Like just like once you get comfortable, like because again we're grad heads now, man, and you got to learn to be alone. You know what I mean? You got to learn to be comfortable with being alone, and it's hard, man. I know it's hard, but got to just be comfortable with being alone. And I think that's been better too as time has gone on while I've been here, especially this summer. Like school's over,
Yeah.
a lot of people left. I got my roommate with me, but I'll still go do stuff on myself too, just to get out, man. Like go. I know it's super hot right now, but maybe go on a hike. Like maybe go to Sedona. Like dude, like you gotta go to Sedona, man. Not to go. You gotta go to
Oh, I've
Sedona.
been already.
Oh, it's phenomenal there. I just took my
It's
parents there.
phenomenal, man.
It's
I
oh, yeah.
know.
But continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I've actually been like alone a lot of my life. Like I've never been like a friend group in my entire life, nor in high school or college. That I've really just had to navigate that. I feel like I haven't had that much trouble navigating being alone. But you're right. It does get a bit lonely at
Yeah,
times, and I really gotta like go out of my way to make some friends, new connections, and all that. So yeah.
it'll come here, man. Trust me, man. Like in one way or another, man. It will come here, man. Like it's again, like
Yeah.
same kind of situation with a couple people I know. They're like, oh man, like I've never really had this thing, and I'm like, this is what we're here for, man. Like it's again, it's yeah, you want to make connections, but you want to make relationships with people too. And I think that's the most important thing
Yeah.
about being here. And again, with
Yeah.
anything.
Okay. That's great advice. So basketball is obviously your favorite sport, right?
Actually, baseball is my favorite sport. I just happen to be super tall and
Baseball.
good at basketball, so I played basketball.
Okay. What's your most controversial baseball take?
Oh man, all the old heads are gonna kill me. I think Derek Jeter is the most overrated Hall of Famer of all time, and he's a winner. I'm not saying he's not a winner. He's a winner, but he's one of the worst defensive shortstops to be in the Hall of Fame. Yes, he had 3,000 hits, and he's clutch. And I'm saying all these good things about him, but I think people put him
Five
on a
rings too.
5 rings. Exactly, he's a winner. But I think people put him on a pedestal that again, he's a Yankee. If he did this, if he won all these championships with the Minnesota Twins, would people revere him as much as they do? No, because he was in New York. He was at the mecca of sports, the mecca of baseball. He
Yeah.
was with the Yankees. So that's my kind. It's I feel like that's a bare bones take because I know a lot of people that say that, but I'm a firm believer. You could say the same thing about Reggie Miller being the most overrated basketball Hall of Famer of all time. The numbers nerds and the stat nerds will tell me that he was a career 16 points a game guy. Yeah, he hit a ton of shots. Oh my God, he's one of the most clutch players in the 90s for sure. Like
Oh yeah.
his legacy of being clutch, 100%. But I mean, he's like a 3 or 4 time All Star. Never made an All NBA team. Never was a defensive guy. Like you're telling me, like I know Blake Griffin's going to be in the Hall of Fame, but you're telling me a guy like Amari Stoudemire can't be in the Hall of Fame, and Reggie Miller is. Like, come on, like Sean Marion. Like they have better numbers, but again, the numbers never lie, but they don't tell the whole story. But a
Yeah.
present baseball take that I think again, this is all recency bias, man. So take this with a grain of salt. And for the people watching, um, I think that the Terry Skubal project will fail in the playoffs miserably. Again, he's been
Hmm.
hurt and he had a rough outing a couple of days ago, his first outing, but um, I think he will have Clayton Kershaw syndrome in the playoffs. Um,
Hmm.
and again, he shut down the guards last year and 2 years ago too, or it was last year and 2 years ago when he pitched. But again, that's 2 years ago Skubal, and that's 1 year ago Skubal.
Yeah.
But with Skubal, they got to have a salary floor, man. It's bad. And like I think, in my professional humble opinion, um, we might not see baseball until 27. And what I mean by 27 is like All
28. You
Star
mean?
28, but I think late 27. I think there will be a lockout next year, and I think if we're lucky, we'll start playing ball at the All Star break or after the All Star break. I think we'll be lucky to get 80 games in next year, even if we do get 80 games in next year. I don't think you can get 80 games in. So I know in '94 when the lockout happened, I think they were 80 or 90 games in when they called it in I think '93 or
Yeah. And
'94.
then they shut down the season.
Because my favorite nugget about that season is the Montreal Expos were probably going to go far that year. They were really really good that year. I forgot who they had. I know they
They
had the
were
Walk.
insane.
think they had Dawson and Walker and Tim Raines was on that team. I think I might be wrong, um, but I think the Scooble. I think Scooble. I don't think it will work out, man. I don't think it. Will, I don't think it will work out because now there's pressure. And again, these are professional athletes and they deal with pressure. That's their job is to deal with pressure. Like we all know that. But that's a lot of pressure, man. With all like they got dudes on that
Yeah.
team. They got dudes, man. For in the fan ball talk side of me, they got dogs, man. They got dogs. So
Shohei Ohtani, Yoshi Yamamoto, um, Blake Snell. Frick, who else?
Glass now's in that rotation, and now
Glass now.
Scooble's in that rotation. I think one other head's in that rotation, but I mean, then you got Shohei the hitter, then you got Muncy, then you got Pajes, and you have Mookie, and you have I forget who else on that squad. Who's the
Yeah.
catcher? I don't know. I can't think of it, but maybe now Varsho's with the Blue Jays, but something also that's been
Varsho
kind of
got traded, I think.
oh he did get traded. Okay, I know. I don't know if you saw the Guardians pickups, man. We got smacked by the Mets. I think that game's on right now as well, but I can't believe how bad of a season Cal Raleigh's having. Like it's abysmal bad
Oh yeah.
having.
Now
It's
let me ask you something about Kyle Raleigh. Do you think he should have won MVP over Judge last year, or do you think Judge
I
deserved it
think
last year?
so. I think so solely on the fact that he had one of the best hitting seasons we've seen from a catcher all time. Besides the Johnny
Hmm.
Benches and besides the Roy Campanellas, I think he we haven't seen that from a catcher in a long time. Not in my lifetime. Like yeah, obviously Joe
Yeah.
Mauer hit 350, but Joe Mauer also wasn't hitting 59 home runs. Also while hitting over 300, like he wasn't doing that. It's just nuts, and it's crazy how bad the Mariners are. I think they're still in it a little bit, but not bad. But
Yeah.
it's like I haven't seen a team fall off that hard in baseball in a while. You know, baseball
Yeah.
is one of the it is the most unpredictable game I think in professional sports because like again in basketball you kind of
Yeah.
know if the Thunder are playing the Wizards or the Kings, the Thunder are probably going to win that game 9 times out of 10. But in baseball,
Yes.
anything's different. Again, if the Browns are playing the Seahawks are probably going to win 9 times out of 10. You know, so I think also too with baseball, it's so unpredictable, and shit happens in baseball. You know, that's what I chalk it up to. Shit happens, especially with baseball too.
Yeah,
It's you go, my fault.
I am a Yankees fan. Yeah, I am a Yankees fan. Obviously George Lombard Jr. as
Yes,
incredible of a debut as you could ask for last night. I think I think the problem with our team is that we don't really have guys that like really want to win. And I,
yeah.
and, and I feel like that sounds kind of strange, but I really think that.
No, I've gotten that feeling the last couple of years, especially even like going back to like 2018. And like, oh man, if Judge doesn't drop that ball, they probably don't win the series. 2 3 years. That's 3 years ago now, I think.
It
Because I
was
think
two
they were
years
down.
ago.
It was 2 years ago, so they were down 3-1, I believe, when that happened. If Judge doesn't drop that
We
ball, they
were,
probably
yeah.
don't win the series, but they win the game. I think they win that game, especially with how Cole was pitching. I mean, you got everyone's not everyone's hurt right now, but again, like I was watching the White Sox Yankees game last week. Um, I was like, man, like these guys, their lineup was just like, holy moly! Like in August, that's your lineup in August. I know like Judge isn't playing right now, but it's like and Ben Rice kind of fell.
Judge, Bellinger, and Stanton are all hurt right now. So that's
Yeah,
three of our top guys, three of our top hitters that are hurt.
like Ben Rice.
But
Ben
it's
Rice
just
fell off a cliff too. Like he had a really good start to the
yeah.
season. Now he's like falling off a cliff completely.
Yeah, and then also, recently the White Sox series, it should have been a sweep because it was just one little play here and there that was just basic fundamentals that Jason Dominguez or Anthony Volpe just couldn't handle.
Yeah, Volpe, man, Volpe. I think the Volpe hate on social media is funny. I don't think he deserves it. I kind of feel bad for the kid because he like again like he's not ranking himself as the number one player in the farm system. He's not putting himself as he's the best shortstop we've seen since Jeter. But like it's funny to me. It's comical to me how social media treats him. But like he's not even that bad of a player. He can hit the ball, but his defense is just. His defense is below average, and that's putting it kindly.
Yeah, he had like the most errors in the league
Yeah.
last season, which was
And
not
and
good.
his defense
But
efficiency this year is really bad too. So are you a Giants fan as
yeah,
well?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know because it's very hard rooting for the Jets or Giants these days. I feel like if one team has like a really good like 10 or 11 win season, I'll just like roll with them through the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if I had to pick between the two, it'd be the Giants because they have the most.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
They have a fun young core, and Neighbors is supposed to come back early-ish. I don't think he's going to be ready for Week 1, but I know he's supposed to play, isn't he?
I hope so. I mean, he's looked good in a training camp so far. So yeah, him and OBJ in the same core, LSU
Forgot
wide
the
receiver U. So
Giants.
yeah,
And you got Tracy and Scatterboo and Jackson Dart. He had a problem this year last year. I think they could be solid. I think they have the same ceiling and floor as the Browns. I think their ceiling is 7 wins, and I think their floor is 2 wins. Like
yeah.
every year in training camp, I'm like, oh, the Browns look pretty good. They might win 9 games, especially the last 3-4 years, and they're gonna go.
Oh, but the Browns don't really have a quarterback right now,
I
to
they're
be
gonna start.
honest with you.
They're gonna start. They're gonna start Deshaun, I think, because you're paying them all that money. But I want them to start
Well,
Shadur.
you better.
We have to.
I want them to start Shador because he's miles better than Deshaun. But
Shadur had to watch the film, man. Like I'm not sitting here. I'm saying I'm going through film every day, but like the film of Shadur, man, he looked good, man, last year. And you put him in that receiving core and that offensive system that the Browns had last year too. Again, it's the Browns' issue the last 25 years with quarterback. The guy that they draft doesn't play well the first year, then they just ship him off to somewhere else, and then they draft another guy, then he doesn't play well, then they ship him off to somewhere else. But you guys, if I'm the head coach, if I'm Todd, I'm playing him all 17 this year. You got again, this is his second year. You got and it's a new system too. And Todd, he always talks about how much he loves Shadur, but all the Cleveland media is saying Deshaun this, Deshaun that. So it'll be interesting the next couple of weeks for sure.
yeah.
You got
Going back to the Yankees, though, I really, really hope Luis Garcia, Helio Ramos, George LeBard can just hold it
I
down
think guy
until the big guns get back.
like Ramos is a solid pickup, but like Garcia, he's a huge pickup for you guys. He's having the best year of his
Oh
career right
yeah,
now.
yeah,
So you guys got him from the Nationals, right? Yeah. So that's he's like Garcia. He's going to be the guy that took care of you guys the next couple of weeks, 2, 3, 4 weeks for sure. And you're gonna need him to.
yeah. I think our pitching staff is fine. I know there were some talks about us getting relievers and, one of our relievers giving up 6 runs in an inning alone. But I'm going to be honest with you. I think our pitching staff is fine. I think
I
we have
like
a
Cam.
solid starting core.
Yeah, I like Cam. I like Schindler a lot. I like him a lot.
I
Right?
do.
Is that how you pronounce his last
Hmm.
name? I like Cam. I like Cam a lot, man. I think he's a young guy too. He's good, man.
Yeah, Fernando Cruz, Brett Hedrick, David Bednar, those like 3 are the core guys that are like nailing in the bullpen.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's like Cam Schlittler, Garrett Cole, Max Fried, Ryan
Freed.
Weathers, Will
Yeah,
Warren.
yeah. You guys got Freed and Cole too. So you guys are fine. You guys are the Yankees. You'll make the playoff. You guys will be
Carlos Rodon as well.
the old man Rodon too. I think he's like 34, 35. Old man Rodon, man.
Yeah, I mean he's a streaky guy. He can be hot, but then sometimes he won't have it one night. So yeah,
That's baseball. That's baseball for you.
yeah, yeah. Any last advice on people like wanting to get into this business? Wanting to be good at the things they want to do and balance and all that and things like that.
I think this is more life advice too than anything, but just be yourself. 100% be yourself, man. Especially in the sports industry, be curious. Always be curious and ask more questions than you really should. That's really one thing I picked up on. And then talk to as many people as you can. Connect and build relationships with as many people as you can. I think that's the perks of being at Cronkite is you get to go experience a good amount of things. Like I got to go to the Super Bowl as well and just talk to all these reporters and players. Talk to people. Don't be afraid to try new stuff. Try new things. Um, I called in my commentary class. For my final project, I called an Arizona State water polo game. I don't know a single thing about polo, but I got to call a game, and it was awesome. I had a great time calling water polo. So just try new things. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. I know like my core three are baseball, basketball, football. That's always going to be my core three. But I called a hockey game as well. I don't know. I know hockey. Like I grew up around hockey, but I've never played hockey.
Yeah,
And Cleveland doesn't have
me
a team,
neither.
and the Blue Jackets stink. So I never really watched hockey growing up. I watched Stanley Cup, but just try new things, man. Don't be afraid to try new sports. Like do a volleyball story, do a softball story, do a hockey game. Like just try new things, try new sports, and just talk to as many people as you can.